Welcome to Absolutely Marvel and DC. My name is Benny, that is Sal, and that is Dylan. Today we're going to be talking about the What If show in its entirety, because what we do here at Absolutely Marvel and DC is sit down as a bunch of buddies who enjoy comic books and movies and talk about superhero-themed comic books and movies. We just talk about all of it, basically, from TV shows to theories to ideas to what's going on in the world. We do it in a podcast format right here, and if you enjoy discussion-style videos with me and the boys, then make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. We would really appreciate you joining the family right over here at Absolutely Marvel and DC. So, let's talk about What If. That's that show. That's
right.
That show we've been watching.
Yeah.
That show that's over, yeah.
So it's completely over, and we're missing this by the week because we were all in New York Comic Con, so doing things on time, we don't know how that works. I should have been like on the phone in New York, like, all right, guys, I've dialed in. What are we doing? As I'm walking through Times Square, half-naked people running behind me.
Yes.
Oh God, that would have been a mess. Yeah, I don't know. What if as a whole, it had its moments. I feel like the internet is harsher on it than we have been.
Totally.
Which is strange to me.
Well, how so? Because I've seen everyone who really enjoyed the finale.
I guess it's just our own little Twitter, like, whoever we follow.
Oh, I ignore everyone.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the response that I've seen, like the general response from a lot of people, independent of each other, has been like, a couple episodes were good, but the rest of them were dog. And I was like, okay, that's,
right?
I mean, I don't fully agree, but like, it's fine. Like even like talking to a couple of my friends, like the opinions are just drastically different. Like, a friend of mine who does watch a bunch of Marvel stuff said that he hated the Thor episode, but I love the Thor episode.
Yeah.
So it's like, it seems very polarizing.
Is it
Just
wrong that I
down
didn't
to-
watch the Thor episode because everyone said the Thor episode was one of the worst episodes?
No, I loved it. It was great.
It was a great
Everyone was
episode.
like, it's terrible. And you know what I'll say? I didn't even need it because I missed it that week, and I didn't even. And for the finale, I got it. He's a goofy Thor that's in Vegas. It worked for me.
That's it. That's it. I actually liked him less in the finale than I liked him in the episode.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll go back and watch that one. I mean, normally I would go through and we'd give a full review of everything that happened in the show, but I think since we're a week out, we're just basically going to be like, hey, here's what we thought. I mean, overall, I will say I was one of the biggest detractors for this series right at the beginning. That first episode came out, and I literally, because I do a weekly show over on Comic Storian for Loki, and we were going to do it for What If, and I straight up said, I'm not interested. I am not showing up weekly to talk about this. It's not interesting to me. I'm not on board. Yep. And so at the beginning, I was against this show. I do feel, I know you disagree, Sal, but I feel like the Sharon Carter episode was the worst to start with.
Peggy Carter.
Peggy Carter. The Carter
Wrong
episode.
Carter.
The Carter episode. I just feel like we should have gone out with more of a goofy bang to kind of give a better vibe. Because that one just felt so rushed in comparison to every other episode here. Every other episode worked in the 20-minute format. The Carter one did not. And I still stand by that. It just rushed through too much of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
And again, like I agree with Benny in this case, but like this is a good example where Sal doesn't, and that's like just good example of how polarizing the show apparently was.
Yeah.
but Sal is allowed to be wrong, and we're going to go with that.
No.
But But apropos of what Dylan said about the polarizing thing, I think that like it's like the I don't know if it's polarizing or if it's like actually equalizing. Everyone likes the show in some form.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think the show is a tremendous success because like it appeals to literally everybody in some form or another, which I think is kind of cool.
I think that's like the anthology format caters to that heavily because it's like there's so much going on, and really the only connective tissue is the animation style, which I think all of us don't love, but it's there.
I'm not a
It has
fan
its
of
moments,
that
for
like
sure.
3D wannabe anime look. I haven't liked it since Berserk tried it, and I don't think they did a better job here. The fight sequences looked good, but outside of that, the show still had its weird issues. I feel like this would have been better as more of a traditional hand-drawn show, or maybe just done live action, because you You got him back in for the booth. You couldn't get him in to do like an actual shot. I mean, you mean to tell me you don't have the Guardian set just sitting over here?
Probably not.
Probably. Well, the Guardian set is definitely just CG. So it's like, yeah, we got it.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. Like, you got everything.
They do have the circle room from Mandalorian now. So it's like,
That's true.
Marvel shows should look a lot better now. It would have taken too long. Traditional animation and human beings being in it would have taken too long to make. And so it's like, this is one of those things where it's like, we can get it out, and we can get it out looking reasonably good enough to pass the smell test of Marvel productions.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think obviously the budget, like, they wanted to keep it at a specific point.
Yep.
I mean, if you didn't bring in all your big name actors and probably paid them boatloads, probably could have kept it even better.
Yeah, but they only brought selective ones, like only characters that like they randomly wanted to bring back.
That wasn't Chris Hemsworth, right? That wasn't Thor.
That was. No, that is him.
It was.
He did a great job.
Yeah.
It felt like a different Thor.
That's another like criticism I think we had of like every episode is the voice acting feels a little off each time.
Yeah.
But again, it's just like, you know, when you get traditional actors, like live action physical actors who don't have a lot of experience with voice acting and are maybe just doing these lines on their lunch break, it's like
during another
they're
movie,
not going to care as much. They're not going to do as well as they would have on an actual set. But I don't know, it's weird because this is the first part of the MCU that is officially like canon to the MCU, but tangential enough to the point where, you know, like Lake Bell is playing Black Widow, which is, we're getting different actors playing different characters, and it's not like where they're at different stages of their life. It's different universes, but it's an interesting precedent that has now been set with the multiverse that do you think they're going to, like, outside of What If, do you think we're going to see characters playing or actors playing the same characters? Or are they going to use those ideas in live action or no?
Lake Bell shows up as a Black Widow because we got rid of Scarlett Johansson,
but they just patched it up so they don't have to anymore.
They claim they patched it up. She was like, "Oh, so you only gave me $200 million instead of $250. Fine, Disney."
Yeah,
you said it best with that argument. Where it's like I have a real hard time arguing about a woman who's a multi-millionaire, arguing she's not getting more multi-millions. You know.
Well, if she's entitled to them, but like I don't expect that. You know, Hollywood does what Hollywood does. Like, you know, if they do something one way, they're not going to suddenly change it because it like is a better idea or it's an opportunity. And in this case, they think that part of the appeal of the MCU is the actors they have hand selected. I don't think they're going to deviate from that course just because like it's less expensive or it's like an easier. You know, the only other thing that changes actors at the MCU is spite or death.
Yeah.
That's literally the only thing. And you know, in the case of like Hugo Weaving, just cast somebody who does the same voice. You know, Bruce Banner, screw you, Edward Norton. You know, it's literally
we just won't use Hulk.
Terrence Howard.
I feel like the Hulk thing. Just a little weird side note for those who are maybe watching for the first time. This is what we do a lot of here.
Yeah.
I feel like you say that it's like Edward Norton's like, you need me if you're gonna have the Hulk as have his movies, and Disney was like, what if he doesn't have movies? Like
this is even pre-Disney. They were just like, nah, no, we don't. No, we don't. The character's bigger than you.
Yep.
It's like, no one was. You know, I remember when they changed it, and I was like, that sucks. Edward Norton's a great actor. Not that like he really brought much to the role, but like it's really too bad. And then Mark Ruffalo showed up. He's like, hi, and everyone's like, yay! Like no one was like, hey, this is nonsense. Nobody cared, Ed. But I don't think it's indicative of anything. The only thing that I do see it doing is for the characters who are like contractually allowed to continue. You know, you might see evil Benedict Cumberbatch, Doctor Strange. You might see, or not evil, but you know, like corrupted.
That version. Yeah,
you might see Captain Carter show up because Haley Atwell is a treasure, and it would like be a shame not to put her in these movies. You know. But other than that, you know, I don't see this having much cross appeal outside of the Watcher also appearing more in live action stuff.
What do you think about the idea that that they crossed over this stuff? Because while I thought the last fight was great, Multiverse of Avengers, on the other hand, I kind of wanted just a standalone What If again. You know, like what we got was a 2-part episode that brought together the multiverse Avengers instead of just another fun, weird what if to show how they could all collide, which I think was cool. But that's 2 episodes out of a 9-episode series dedicated to that, basically.
Yeah, that's true. I really
would you have preferred more just standalones, or did you like that?
I'm happy with what they did. I have no complaint, especially with the season 2. I'm like, oh, they're just gonna keep doing it. Like, so whatever.
Right.
They did cut an episode though. Remember when we were all talking about the last episode, and we were like, what was that? Apparently they did. They cut a whole episode.
The
for
Gamora
budgetary
one, apparently.
reasons.
Yeah.
The Gamora one, yeah. And they were like, we don't have to explain that. And it's like, ironically, the one episode where Tony Stark doesn't die, they cut that one. But yeah.
It's funny because of the Gamora one, since I missed Thor, I'm like, oh, that must have happened in the Thor episode. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, whatever, party Thor and Gamora. Okay, and she's got a device to rip stones out of people. Cool.
Yeah.
I don't really have a problem with the teaming. I know a lot of people are like, another take I saw probably on Twitter was like, it's a shame that What If has to follow the Marvel formula of like crossing over eventually, and it's like, I don't know, that's comic books, like that's what they do.
Yeah.
And it works.
I feel like this is an entirely different argument, entirely different video, but I'm getting really tired of the everything follows the Marvel formula. Yeah, and there's also like 100 other movies that came out this year.
Right.
That's like that something was making the rounds on Twitter a little bit ago. It was like this article that was like A24 versus Marvel, the future of movies, and everyone was like, "There's so many more movies."
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Why are
like,
those the two?
Like, and look, if Marvel wants to follow a formula, you know what you're getting when you go to the theater. If you want to watch a cerebral movie or a horror movie, go watch those.
Yeah. They're not stopping.
Yeah, like it's not.
Malignant came out, a movie that by all rights shouldn't exist, and it's real, and it came out, and I saw it. And
I just watched Old last night with M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
Like there are other movies that just. I'm sorry, and there's even other movies that have superheroes that do things, and then you all crap on it. Justice for Venom 2.
Can't ride that train with you. Sorry.
Venom 2 got its justice. Everyone liked it. Who wanted to go see it?
It was fine. So yeah, I don't know. What If? Also fine. I enjoyed it. There were highs and lows, but I think that's gonna happen with any anthology. It's
That's true. My lows were not terribly low. I was just like, this is fun.
Yeah.
Like I enjoyed the shows that I was watching. I liked it. Maybe I liked Star Wars Visions a little more, but only because it was like doing something. Whereas like What If was just kind of like being something.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
But I liked it. I had no complaint. No episode I went, I wasted my time. I was like, no, this is pretty fun. Another fun one. All right,
Peggy
cool.
Carter episode, I said that, but every other one I was fine.
It's insane.
Yeah. I think for me, like up until the crossover, it just felt like what a What If show would be.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you read a What If comic, and it's a very similar experience.
But see, that's why I'm asking if you feel
fun.
like we should have got more. Like we should have gotten more of those as opposed to having that crossover episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, but whatever.
I mean, it is
Yeah,
Marvel.
it's like-
They're going to follow a formula, so let's compare.
Sure.
Is it a formula? I don't know. I think it's just kind of like, whatever. Just do what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's like I think the crossover here. I mean, I don't know. I was gonna say it feels more forced, but like, does it?
Right.
Because it's
right.
very similar to the first phase of. I think the Defenders is the one that's the most forced.
Yes.
That's the one where it's like that didn't need to happen.
No. Well, it's
Yeah.
weird. That was weird because like you even wrote into the script the characters all are like asking why they're there. And it's like,
Yeah.
don't do that.
It's like they wrote an Iron like 4 episodes extra for Iron Fist and like sort of Daredevil, and then they threw everyone else in there for no reason. It's like this is our crossover.
Lucky us.
Yeah. So at least this crossover was more like cohesive, which is kind of wacky for like an entire multiverse spanning thing.
It does
but-
completely steal from Tales from the Dark Multiverse, though.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
like Tempest Fugonaut is going through the Dark Multiverse. He's like, "There's a crisis coming. I need to find a hero." And each episode or issue that he goes through, he finds one, but he's like, "You're not worth it," and then keeps going. And it's like the lesson, I assume, if Didio was still around, was going to be that he was going to grab them all together and make like a Justice League of Dark Multiverse character heroes. And I'm like, that's just what this was.
I was about to ask you, that never concluded properly, right?
Like, it ended with a Dark Knight's metal Tales from the Dark multiverse story where Tempest Fugonaut gets punched in the face.
I was gonna say nothing came out of that, but yeah,
No, they never did anything with it. I'm like really disappointed about it.
I see. So this is what I think is the biggest problem with What If.
Yeah.
We gotta have some negative here.
Sure.
So I'm gonna throw it out there. Is that due to the nature of how they structured the show, due to the nature of what the show has to do with it, there really isn't that much to discuss.
No.
Like our Loki finale discussion was like 30, 45 minutes. Our there's a cat doing gymnastics around you right now. Our WandaVision episode was like 30, 45 minutes. And our What If episode, we're stretching right now talking about everything. We're not reaching too far, but we're not really hammering in all the what if stuff that came out because nothing came out of this really. We're not questioning what's happening next.
I'm thrilled by that. I think that's nice because like it means that not everything that Marvel makes is gonna like lead to something else or set up a big thing. It's just hey, how about we just made some stuff you can watch that you have fun with, and like maybe we'll pay it off or do something with it, but like the payoff is just the product, and like,
right.
That's fine. It doesn't do well for channels that speculate about what the implications of the thing that came out are going to be later, but like, so what? There'll be another thing. Eternals is coming soon enough. We can talk about what that means.
I think that's like, because that's something that I've started to realize about myself that I don't like, and I think it's because of Marvel and just this new way of making media where it's never about the thing you're currently watching. It's always about what's coming next, and like
Right.
That's YouTube. That's just the way that Marvel movies have been, set up and hyped up for a while.
Yep.
I talked about this in our Carnage review of like nothing excited me more than the post-credit scene of that movie. And like oftentimes when I'm watching a YouTube video, I find myself at the start of the YouTube video looking for what I'm going to watch after the one that I'm currently watching before I start like actually experiencing it. And it's like
Opening up multiple tabs. Like you have the tab, like
Yeah.
this is next, and this is next, and this is next.
Yeah.
It's not your fault, by the way. You're conditioned to do that by the,
100%.
by the
And
format.
that's why like now I'm like, I've realized that, and I've realized that I've been conditioned to be this way. And I'm like, okay, stop, just watch
Right.
this.
Yeah.
And that's like, I think that's nice about like up until the Thor episode where, Benny, since you didn't see it, the ending of the Thor episode ended with Ultron coming out of a portal and confronting Thor. Before that, all of them were self-contained for the most part.
Yep.
So
I
it's like,
missed
okay,
the
cool.
big one that I should have watched. That would have.
Yeah.
But it's and even that 8th episode where we get the origins of Ultron, that is sort of self-contained if you tacked a different ending onto it, where like I don't know, he kills the Watcher or something.
Right.
But it's contained in the sense where like this was a what if story. Obviously the story doesn't end, but this is where it's going to end for our purposes of storytelling. And I think, Sal, like you said, that's nice. That's a nice change of pace where it's like I can enjoy this thing without thinking of the larger implications of it in a universe.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
I think that's a good ending part right there. Like, honestly.
There you go.
I don't want to drag this
good.
out and then we just start talking about random tangents just to get lengthier. So
Right. No, totally.
What'd y'all have for lunch today?
Yeah. Actually, I just had a crepe. Anyway, thank you guys for watching today's episode of Absolutely Marvel and DC. Our opinions on the entirety of What If. We're going to be taking a little bit of a break from the Marvel shows because none of them are coming out.
Well, we got some fun stuff
I was
planned.
about to say, Dylan's got some fun
Okay,
stuff
sorry.
planned. Don't worry, we will be making content up until November. I know Titans and Doom Patrol are kind of wrapping up, so we're going to be watching some classics. We're going to be watching some horror movies for Halloween. Dylan's been working on a great plan that I have to keep forgetting to check. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button. If you enjoy this type of content, please consider sticking around. Thank you. We'll see you next time.